you for taking and carrying the hopes of a nation beyond the horizon. I think we really needed this at this point in our history. I really appreciate it. And Victor, since I'm in John McCain's Senate seat and you are a McCain alum, so this question is for you. Just curious, how fast are you going at EI? What kind of G profile are you going to be on? And how sporty of a ride do you expect it to be when those chutes open?
Oh, Mark, thank you. It's great to hear from you. Thank you for your continued leadership and support and friendship. And the ride's been amazing. Jumping off the pad was awesome. And a lot of people think about rocket science and staging power versus weight. Well, slowing down from that speed takes just as much thought and practice. And so we're going to come into the atmosphere at about almost 40 times the speed of sound. And then we will slow down to a 20-mile-an-hour touchdown into the Pacific. But the G profile will actually be very similar to what it is on launch. We'll get up into the 3 Gs, just over 3 Gs on the way down for a normal entry. But if it was a ballistic, we could get up to as high as 9, 10 Gs, which is what you pull in a fighter jet. But we could be doing that for several minutes, for 8 or 9 minutes. And so the G profile is going to be pretty sporty. But when we touch down, the heat shield and the parachutes are going to get us nice and slow so that we touch down at what did I say, about a 20-mile-an-hour splash down in the Pacific. And we can't wait to see the dive team and the Navy that are going to come and pick us up.
All right, thanks, guys.
All right, next we have Senator Katie Britt of Alabama.
Hey, everybody. I know how proud we are in Alabama of the role that Marshall Space Flight Center in Huntsville has played in this incredible mission. So I can't even imagine how unbelievably proud your families are of you and how excited they are to see you soon and to welcome you back to Earth. So instead of a question, I want to let each of you just take the next minute to publicly address your children and the next generation of space explorers as history-making space flight, this mission enters its final hours. So thank you so much for your incredible service and your example.
Thank you very much for this question. We are in a maneuver right now, so I hope we don't lose the signal briefly, but we just heard the thrusters firing on the service module to reorient us. We have a return trajectory correction burn number 2 coming up in just a little while. But I just want to look at my daughters, Ellie and Katie, and just say I love you, and their support has been unbelievable. I don't think they knew what this mission really meant when we launched, but they have learned through the outpouring of public support, their friends' support, and family support. Really, the world has come together. We have seen it, and we have seen it through their eyes, too. And it has been a very proud moment for me as their father to see the joy in their expression and the way they email and communicate when we have private conferences. It's still on.
For my 3 children, Devin, Ashley, and Caitlin, I think it's worth pointing out, I learn as much, maybe more from you than you learn from me. But the one thing I'd remind you, and I think is worth reminding ourselves and other youth, is that all you have to do on any given day is just get up and do your best and try to find joy in your day and try to contribute in a meaningful and positive way. And that's it. And I think we as humans, we put too much pressure on ourselves, looking for perfection. And if you look at what we're doing out here, it is far from perfection, but we are getting it done.
Wait, that's us. The view.
Genesis, Maya, Joya, and Corinne, as we are on our way back from this dream of a mission, your mom and I look forward to supporting you, chasing and catching your own dreams. We spent years coaching you, but we are very much in that transition to being cheerleaders and just rooting for you in life. And to the future citizens out there, the same sentiment applies. I hope this mission is giving you something that you can take and put in your pocket or in your heart and mind that you keep with you. But it's not because we want you to see what we've tried to show you. It's because we want you to take this and build a vocabulary to explain the world to us.
Wow. Wow, Victor. Why do I ever answer questions around you guys?
That was incredible.
That was incredible.
I'll take this second to say something to my 9 nieces and nephews, which is, I love you, and thank you for the amazing letters you wrote me, the amazing pictures you drew me. You had beautiful Earths and rockets, and they truly touched my mission, and I feel like you're here with me.
All right, next is Congressman Mike Herodopoulos of Florida.
Hi, crew. This is Congressman Mike Herodopoulos, and I represent Kennedy Space Center in Congress. And what a thrill to have watched you take off from Kennedy Space Center. It truly unified America. I have a question from one of our local voters here in Indian River County. Her name is Renee, and she said, what were you thinking when you were going around the moon, the furthest ever from Earth, on the dark side of the moon? We'd love to hear your thoughts as you made your way around the moon out of radio contact.
So during the time of the nearest approach to the moon, we were doing so much science. I took a brief moment to say a short prayer of gratitude for being sent on this mission and trusted with, bringing back scientifically relevant information. And I also just felt like I was hoping that people looked up and were watching to see when we came back into communication, and that maybe there was a chance that folks would feel a sense of togetherness. We have a moment of silence whenever something solemn and that requires reverence or someone that we love has passed away, but maybe we could call it a moment of togetherness. As we were in radio silence, I was really hoping that we could just have a sense. You heard the word togetherness a lot from our crew, and really was hoping that while we were waiting to get back in contact, that people could just feel that sense of togetherness, that we were all a crew on Spaceship Earth.
All right, our second to last question is from Congresswoman Valerie Foushee of North Carolina. This one's for Christina.
Good evening, Artemis II crew. Indeed, you are inspirational and you make us all proud Americans. I'm proud to represent the North Carolina School of Science and Mathematics in Durham, North Carolina, where Dr. Cook attended high school. With Dr. Cook becoming the first woman and Captain Glover, the first person of color to travel this far into space, what message do all of you have for the next generation of explorers who may be seeing themselves in this mission for the first time?
Well, it's such an honor to speak with you and that you represent Durham. All of my family lives there, and they're all flying to Houston right now, hopefully to watch our splashdown. So Durham is very near and dear to my heart. There's a lot to say about that topic. I feel like for us, we don't necessarily see any one individual as, deserving of anything or accolades for being a first. What we see is something to celebrate, that we are in a time when everyone who has a dream has to work equally and gets to work equally hard to achieve that dream. And so my message to those people is yes, it is wonderful to feel inspiration because you see yourself in someone. I had that growing up. You had that growing up. I think that the message, the takeaway would be, you don't have to focus on just being there. Focus on excellence. Focus on being the best that you can be in any team, in any mission, contributing to any endeavor. And that will get you not only the fulfillment and meaning of your life, but you'll contribute the most to the world.
Dude.
All right, and we have time for one final question. We'll send it over to Senator Ashley Moody of Florida.
Thank you so much. And I know we started with Senator Cruz from Texas, and I love that we're ending with Florida Senator. It's such an honor where you launched. I was there for the launch of Artemis II. It was so exciting. Florida's been the beating heart of American space exploration for over 60 years. What would you say to the kids from Florida who were there that day watching the launch, really kids from Pensacola to Miami, who may want to follow in your footsteps one day as astronauts, or maybe work for NASA or even in the space industry, what would you say to them?
I would say we are in the golden age of space exploration right now, thanks to the leadership of Jared Isaacman and our political leaders, many of whom are gathered here right now. We are getting it done. We have our sights set on the moon. We have our sights set on Mars. We have probes going out across the solar system, robotic precursor missions, the moon, Mars, moons of planets around our solar system. There's just limitless potential here. But I also want to just not single out people who are interested in spaceflight. I would say anything that you find a passion in, when it sparks your interest, there is no right answer for every human. It's in your soul. So Jeremy likes to say every one of us has a gift, and we need to share our gifts to be happy. And so if you want to be a veterinarian. If you want to help people, be a nurse or a school teacher or a public servant, a police officer. There are so many things out there. And when you find that fire in your soul and you know what you're meant to do, just lean all in and go for it. And if some of you end up going and walking on Mars, the four of us, myself, Victor, Christina, and Jeremy, we will be in the front row cheering you on loud and clear.
All right, we are out of time for today's event. That concludes the event. Thank you to everyone who was able to tune in, and thank you to our elected officials for joining us. Artemis II crew, we look forward to seeing you back home soon.
Integrity, this is Houston ACR. That concludes the event. Thank you.
Thank you to all participants. Integrity, we are now resuming operational audio communication. And Integrity, just over 10 minutes ago, as you were having that event, you passed the halfway home mark.